What's going on, guys? My name is Landon. Today, back again, bringing you guys another video. Yet again, another predictions video. We've done like 3 of these in the past 3 weeks. You know, there's been Gfinity, there's been ESWC, and now UMG Cali. We're just having a crazy amount of events, man. And do I mind at all? No, I don't mind. I don't mind at all because it's just more fun times for me to make videos and for you guys to hopefully enjoy them. But no, like I said, we got UMG Cali, the UMG Cali 35K, UMG California. I literally said every possible way to reference it, but we're going to be bringing you guys the UMG Cali 35K predictions here today, kind of going over each official pool. These pools are official. We got a list of fake pools that we thought were actually real, which consist of like Optic Gaming and Prophecy were in a pool, and it was like, oh my god, this is going to be absolutely crazy. But now we know how the pools are going to work, and I'm going to be bringing you guys a predictions video today on how these pools are going to work. Like I said, predictions, and give you guys, because there's a lot of different storylines that are going to be going on into this event regarding Crim6, Aches, and a new team who has recently returned to the Call of Duty scene. Who is it? Let's find out. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. They have not really given out a whole lot of info regarding what's happening. I'm assuming there's an open bracket. I'm assuming that there's a loser's bracket. I know it's double elimination, so if you get out, if you lose one game, you're not, out of the, you're not like completely lost. There's gonna be a pool play. I'm assuming the 2 teams make it to the winner's bracket, and the 2 others make it to the loser's bracket, and then they play with open bracket teams. I have no idea how this tournament's gonna work. Unfortunately, they have not given any knowledge out, which is very unfortunate because people like me who try to make predictions videos have no idea what to really say. So what I'm gonna be doing is kind of going over who I think is going to make it out of each pool, talk about the storylines behind each thing, and maybe give like my top 5 or my top 6, which is kind of unfortunate because if there is an open bracket team, there's no way of me predicting that one because I have no idea who's in the open bracket if there is one. So you guys can kind of see my dilemma. Hopefully we can make it through, but like I said, let's get into the first group, which is going to be Group A. A is not a number. Group A, or Pool A, I'm sorry. It's either Pool or Group. They just want to switch it up on me every single time. Pool A, going to be consisting of none other than Optic Gaming. It's actually the wrong logo for Optic Gaming, but I'll let them slide because it's a black background. Anyway, Optic Gaming, Rise Nation, Automatic Reload, and none other than Vex Gaming. Now, I want to make this clear. Everyone thought that Clayster, Nadeshot, and JCap we're all going to be making a team. I heard that. I saw them actually post about it on Twitter. However, I believe Clay is going to be on vacation. And the reason why Denial is not going to be at the tournament, if you guys aren't going to realize that throughout the pools, since Attach is not going to be able to play, I believe it's his graduation or something, he just can't attend this event. So they decided, you know what, we're not going to try to put in a 4th. It's not worth it. Let's just not even attend the tournament. So that's kind of how it's working. I believe also they didn't really want to fund them. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't take my word for it. All I know, and take this, is that they're not able to go to this tournament. So due to that, obviously none of those players will be playing, at least in these groups. I don't know if like JCap and Nade try to form a team and go through the open bracket. Who knows? I'm sorry, I just had to get that out there before we even started. So, like I said, Pool A, consisting of the teams I just mentioned. Looking at Optic Gaming, obviously, I'm assuming that they're going to make it out of this pool. Vex, I don't even know who's on Vex. I know Pluto's on Vex. He's like the captain. I don't think we're going to see anything out of Vex, and this is hard because I don't know how many teams make it out of the pool. Let's just act like there's 2, okay? There's going to be 2 pools, all right? There's going to be 2 teams making out of each pool. I'm just going to say that. So I think if that's what's going to happen, it's going to be Optic Gaming and Rise who make it out. And if there's a 3rd team that makes it out, I'm going to say it's Automatic Reload, but if not, I think AR and Vex will be eliminated, to say the least. So Optic Gaming, for me and Rise, we're going to be moving out of Pool A, and if there's a 3rd team that makes it out, it's going to be AR. Alright, you guys ready for the storyline? You guys can see Pool B, we got FaZe Clan, Prophecy, that's such a sick logo, VVV Gaming, and Below Zero. VVV Gaming, are they back? That's totally a fake reaction. For those who don't know, VVV has decided to make their return, man. I'm so excited about this, guys. VVV, if you guys don't know who they are, they're a very, very old Call of Duty team or organization. They actually started like back in COD 4 days. While I wasn't like remembering a whole lot during that time, I watched COD 4 competitively barely at all. VVV was kind of a known team. You know, they've been known over the past couple of years. I believe they've had, like, honestly, I believe the VVV team basically switched over to TK. VVV's like main players were like Goonjar from Donut Shop. If you guys remember Donut Shop, they like got him from that team, and they also got Sharp from I believe it was Fear at the time. You guys don't remember Fear Sharp, man? was a Don. But no, VVV has decided to make their return for UMG Cali. If you guys didn't know, SB, Strictly Business, was going to try to make this event. However, due to certain circumstances like funding and whatnot, they're not able to make it. So this is pretty crazy. This is some roster mania that actually happened for once. Strictly Business has decided to release their team, I guess. I don't know how this exactly worked. VVV basically is the new SB. Or the old SB, whatever, I don't really know, and it's the new SB. So all of the SB players, which are John, Fizz, Twiz, and Sinful, are now all on VVV Gaming for UMG Cali and for future events. Now, who's on Strictly Business now? No idea. I have no idea who's on Strictly Business now. However, VVV is now the lineup I just told you guys. So for this event, they're going to be starting off fresh. They got the VVV jerseys instead of the Strictly Business jerseys. What does that mean? I have no idea. Is VVV going to be, involved in the rest couple of tournaments? Looks like it, and that's going to be awesome. I'm very excited for VVV to return. They kind of stopped having their team midway through Black Ops 2. That's when TK kind of became a thing because half their players decided to leave. But no, you guys probably know the lineup. Theory was on this team, Goonjar was on this team, Sharp was on this team. If you guys aren't really familiar with them, it's kind of like the old TK roster. And obviously TK now is a very known Call of Duty team. Back in Black Ops 2, it was crazy because TK had made some crazy, they made it really far in tournaments and ended up losing to Complexity just about every single time. But regardless, VVV, very excited to see them back. I've spent a lot of time talking about them, but I'm very excited to see this team, in this bracket. But no, we got FaZe Clan. FaZe is going to have their first LAN together with their full team, which is going to be Enable, Slasher, Zuma, and Hook. It's Hook. It is Hook. I'm very excited to see how this team is going to work out. To be honest, they look like a pretty big powerhouse. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, with the new addition of Enable back on FaZe, he's no longer on Optic Gaming, or filling in for them, for these last two events, which they actually ended up winning, which is pretty insane. But no, making his return back to FaZe, I'm very interested to see how FaZe is going to do. Prophecy, off a second place finish at Gfinity, played amazing. I cannot wait to see how Prop is going to do. Their lineup is Aqua, Nagafen, Apathy, and Aches, and they played phenomenal. So I'm very scared for VVV and Below Zero because I think FaZe and Prof are going to move on. Below Zero is a good team, don't get me wrong. They've made some strong pushes in the past. They also did pretty good in COD Champs. For the most part, they made it kind of far out of their group, and it was kind of surprising and whatnot, but Below Zero is a good team. However, to me, if two teams move on, it's going to be FaZe and Prof. If three teams move on, I'm going to add VVV Gaming to that lineup, which I'm very excited about VVV Gaming. That was one of the storylines I want to tell you guys, and that's the team that has returned, in case you didn't already know. So, yes. Alright, now for Pool C, we have the lineups and teams of Team Caliber, Team Elevate, Team Justice, and Threes Up Enterprises. Now, this to me could be considered the group of death. However, I think Group D, or Pool D, is what I'm going to consider that one for sure. However, Pool C has some pretty good teams, I'm not going to lie. Justice, Elevate, and Team Caliber all in the MLG Pro League. Elevate has been playing great. They're currently second in the MLG Pro League, and I believe TK is 8th or 9th right now, so they're not doing the best. Obviously, TK off, I wouldn't say a fresh win because it's a couple events ago, but in reality, it's 3 weeks ago, which is kind of weird because there's been an event every single week and whatnot. So TK, obviously their roster is Nameless, Parasite, Sharp, and Goonjar, and they've not been playing well. They didn't place very well at Gfinity, and they're just not looking very solid as a squad as a whole. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do well at this tournament. They didn't even make it out of their group in the last tournament, so we could possibly see Threes Up or Justice come out of nowhere and take one of the group slots out of this pool. To be honest, I'm gonna say TK and Elevate move on. It's basically been the first two teams who I think are gonna move on. I think Justice can slide in there if they're able to play well. I don't think that they will. I think Threes Up can beat Justice, to be honest with you. But we'll have to see what goes on. Obviously the new additions of, I think, Sender and Diabolic, who are now on Threes Up, will be kind of an interesting additive to their squad. So overall, I think TK and Elevate will move on. In what order, I'm not sure. I'm interested to see how TK is going to work out because of their recent bad finishes and their frustration for each other. I can't even explain. TK is very frustrating to watch, and they've honestly just not been playing well. So I wouldn't be surprised if TK doesn't make it very far in this tournament as a whole. Moving on to our last but not least, Pool D. The group of death, the pool of death, the pool of devastation. It always seems like whenever they have D as the pool name or the group name, it always stands for death, and it really does. You have in this pool Team Envy, Optic Nation, Team Orbit, and Isolation Empire. This pool is filled with some good organizations, to say the least. Envy finally playing with their full roster. Very excited to see. It's obviously Proofy, Looney, Teep, and now Saints. They're going to have that slang power that they've wanted to have for the last couple of events. Obviously, at Gfinity, Saints is not allowed to travel out of the country, so that's kind of why Merc has been filling in for them. I'm not hating on Merc. Merc had some pretty good events in the events that he's played with them for. They ended up placing second at UGC Niagara. It's only TK, to be honest. It wasn't like any other teams were there besides those two. So, to be honest, this team could be pretty good. Now, Optic Nation, off a great placing at Gfinity, ended up placing 3rd through 4th with, I believe, TCM. I'm very interested to see how Optic Nation is going to do from a good placing to this tournament. I'm just gonna have to see. Imbo's played pretty well. Killa had some good moments, and as well as Ricky, and Miracle's obviously pretty consistent as well. So I'm gonna have to see how this team works out. I think they're gonna do pretty good. However, we gotta move on to Orbit. Now, Orbit's roster is no joke. I know when you want to take them for granted. Orbit, who's that? No. Orbit has a pretty good roster. Their roster is actually Accuracy, Lawless, Facento, and Happy. A group of great, young, talented Slayers, to be honest with you. Accuracy, a great player, previously unaware with Lawless. Facento's been a very, heavy Slayer for TR, and Happy, always a great Slayer. I believe he was on AR for a little bit of time. So, all these players are really, really good, and I'm not looking for them to not play well. I'm interested, honestly, to see how other teams react to them. I think they're going to be kind of like a dark horse in this tournament. I could easily see them taking one of these spots. If it's 3 people that move on, I 100% have Orbit in there. If it's only 2 teams, I think we're going to see Envy and Optic Nation. However, Orbit might slip in there. But the Isolation Empire isn't one to sleep on either. I think Orbit's roster is a little bit better. However, in this group, if there were 2 teams moving on, I'm going to say Envy and Optic Nation. However, do not count on Orbit. I can 100% see them taking Optic Nation's spot or even Envious's spot if it comes down to it. So if there's 3 teams moving on, I definitely have Orbit, ON, and Team Envy. If it's only 2, I'm going to say Envy and Optic Nation. Alright, so I apologize, guys. I had to go for just a second, but now we're back, and we're good to go. So I'm going to give you guys my top 8 predictions, but here, what you guys are looking at is actually all of the pools in order. You guys can see every single team, and I'm going to have this graphic up while I tell you guys my actual top 8 predictions. Alrighty, so in order, I'm going to give you guys my top 8 predictions like I said. So, coming in first, I'm going to have Optic Gaming. Optic has just looked so strong. There's really no other reason not to say it. Denial's not in this tournament either, so it's kind of like who's it going to be between, and who I think is going to get second and come just short to Optic Gaming is going to be Prophecy. They've looked so strong. Coming in third, I have Envy. With their full team, I think they're going to do pretty well. Coming in fourth, I have FaZe. I think they're going to have a pretty good tournament. However, due to them not really playing with each other for a little bit of time, I think that's going to, affect them just a little bit. Coming in fifth, I have Orbit. Orbit's roster looks so good, and I think a lot of people are going to kind of doubt them coming into this tournament. So I definitely think that Orbit can place very well, and that's why I have them at fifth. I think, honestly, they can kind of compete with that Envious FaZe, third, fourth, fifth slot. Honestly, I think they really can. Coming in sixth, I have TK. TK, to me, is not going to have a good tournament. Sixth place isn't bad, but it's not good either, to say the least. So, to be honest, TK, to me, is just kind of like a time bomb. Sooner or later, they're just going to explode on each other. I think this is going to be one of the, one of the instances where it shows that their team is not really meant to be. And like I said, so I have TK coming in sixth. And seventh, I have Rise. I think Rise is going to have a pretty good tournament. They're going to get out of their bracket, in my opinion. However, I don't think they're going to do very, very well when it comes to after that. I think they can lose to all the teams above them. But coming in eighth, I have AR. I think AR is a pretty good team. However, I just don't think that I don't think that the talent is really there for this squad. I know they have Intisty and Burns, and they have some pretty good Slayers in their squad. It's just that team does not work for me very well. In order, I have Optic Gaming coming in first. Second, I have Prophecy. Third, Envy. Fourth, FaZe. Fifth, Orbit. Sixth, CK. Seventh, Rise. And eighth, AR. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching my predictions for UMG Cali. Let me know down in the comments who do you guys think is going to win this tournament. You guys can leave me like your top 5 or even your top 8 if you want to. You can kind of pause the video right now and choose from the teams I have on screen. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave it a like if you guys really enjoyed it. Make sure to stay tuned for more content, which is going to be coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.